Good afternoon, my friends. This is the Grimflayer, and I hope you're all doing well today. We are back for more competitive League live recorded play. The first ever time on this channel we're doing a live recorded competitive League, and so far so good. We've got 2-0 as our record. We've got 2 wins under our belt. Looking for the third here. And yeah, that's the name of the game. That's what it's all about. We're already on track for a decent live recorded debut, but we never want to just aim for decent. We're aiming for the 5-0, and this season, or whatever the proper term is, you know, they just reset the leagues a couple days ago. You know, it's still fresh enough, it's still new enough that if we get the 5-0, our name is gonna possibly appear on the leaderboard, because there's only one person so far who's got a pair of 5-0s under the belt. Everybody else only has one, so I don't see any reason why we can't join those ranks. So let's see here. We are going to be on the draw. Hand is pretty strong in a blind game 1. Definitely a keep. They're going to cycle a Street Wraith and play a Watery Grave. This appears to be Grixis Death Shadow. I think that's pretty clear. And I think we need to Thoughtseize here on turn 1. Might be able to keep them off of a turn 2 Gurmag Angler this way. Alright, so let's take a look. They have a 1-lander. They've got a couple Thought Scours, a Stubborn Denial, Snapcaster Mage, Fatal Push, Dismember. Well, this is a whole heck of a lot of gas, right? The big question is, so I don't think we care about the Stubborn Denial yet, and I think if we can realistically survive a Dismember, we'd want to take the Fatal Push, or Tarmogoyf, that is, if it can realistically survive a Dismember. So, but I don't think it can, not until people start putting lands into the yard, and even then, probably not anytime soon. Land, creature, instant, and sorcery is all we have between us. So I guess the Goyf is probably going down either way. But maybe we just take push and then try to take Dismember with the brutality. The other option is to take Snapcaster Mage, because the game is just going to go on so long, and maybe we like that. But they're so low on lands that I think I'm just going to take the push here. It's a very tough call in my opinion. But they've already hit a second land, so we're a bit punished for this line. So they've used both Thought Scours here. They've got Stubborn Denial up, and we draw Blooming Marsh. Well, I think I'm going to cast the Brutality. Don't mind if this trades with Stubborn Denial. And if they don't have a third land in hand, yeah, okay. You got it. So we might realistically be on the Tarmogoyf plan. Ooh, okay, Inquisition. Yeah. It's going to be Inquisition and Tarmogoyf here. Ooh, okay, here comes Snap. They have 2 Dismembers and 2 Lightning Bolts. Yikes. Major yikes. Okay. Still think we take a Dismember away. Maybe, just maybe, we can get the other one out of their hand at some point. So now, I guess we're going to give ourselves one more turn to find yet another discard spell. To protect our Tarmogoyf with. We're going to bobble us. And I think we've got enough mana and enough life that we don't need to push this thing quite yet. Alright, Forest, huh? Well, that artifact was actually really nice because that gave us the ability to play the Tarmogoyf and have it live through the Dismember, so I guess that's what we do. I'm just deciding whether or not Field of Ruin makes sense right here. And I don't think it quite does. I think we'd rather hold up Decay and push. So I'm pretty happy to do this. Their bolts are dead in hand. Never mind. Yeah, and I think I like pushing now. We're going to make them spend 2 spells this way if they want to kill our Tarmogoyf. Then we get to take them back off of red, potentially. Yep. I think that's what we do here. Obviously, Treetop Village, there is some consideration for that too, but okay. They're staying on red, they're staying on red. Okay. I think we put the pressure on here. We don't get to hold up Abrupt Decay this way, but that's alright. Okay. We're drawing all the lands, but at least some of them are good. Alright, looks like we're in a good spot here. Snapcaster Mage would be a really good draw for them. Obviously, Shadow is nice at a nice low life total, but we do have our Decay, and we got there. Treetop Village and Hissing Quagmire doing the work, doing all the work. I love it. I love it. So this is a pretty good matchup for us, and you know, that first one went our way, but it's still a top tier deck. We really need to respect it. So what do we not like? Well, we're probably going to move away from all discard, but it's not the worst thing in the world to leave in a piece or two. Definitely not against that, but we have enough to bring in that we might just get all of it out of here. So I like Kitchen Finks. I definitely like Maelstrom Pulse. And then, like, Engineered Explosives, Nile Spellbomb, these are more maybe cards that are solid, but we might not have room for all of them, and with EE specifically, we don't necessarily want too many things that kill Shadow but don't kill anything else we care about. You know, they can maybe kill Snapcaster in a pinch, but they miss the Gurmag Angler, right? That's the big problem. They miss the opposing Planeswalkers, too, if they have them. So, what else? Fulminator Mage and Choke, those are the other considerations. I think Nis is too slow. Not really interested in any of this other stuff here. So, these two for sure, then we would have 7 more cards to bring in. Anything else we don't like? Yeah, not really. I kinda like it all, to be honest. So, looks like we're taking out all discard and bringing in all but 2 of these cards. Maybe Choke we can do without on the draw. Bring it back in if there's a game 3 and we're on the play. That leaves us with just 1 more cut to make. And I think we want our threat density high enough that I don't feel like cutting an Ooze. Let's just play without this EE. See how it goes. Get a little bit more information about their deck as well. Alright, so this hand is pretty unplayable. Well, then again, we are on the draw, right? But it's just a very clunky high curve hand anyway. I think we can do better on 6. Though I hate to mulligan against Shadow. Alright, this is still clunky, but it's a better keep. I certainly don't want to go to 5. That gets bottomed because we can't cast it yet, and we just need more lands anyway. Alright, well, we've got a lot of good stuff for the matchup, but if they just have a flurry of discard, we are in trouble because we mulliganed, and because our hand is a little weak to discard. Like, we've got a lot of good component pieces, but we're not that redundant. We kind of want them all to work together. But Verdant Catacombs is a pretty good draw. You got me. It'll be interesting to see what they take here. Obviously, Bob is our only turn 2 play at the moment, so that's a real consideration, and yep, there he goes. But a lot of these other cards are actually issues for them. Liliana's a major issue, but they can maybe get her with a Stubborn Denial on, you know. Do we... Ooh, another Inquisition. Yeah, okay. This is what we were afraid of. So the fact that they've had 2 chances to take the Lily out and they haven't means they probably have a Stubborn Denial. So I think what I should do here is we're gonna struggle to answer an Angler, except with our Lily, but I still think we want to clear out the graveyard right now. So let's do that. Okay, Lily the Last Hope is a good one. Shadow. You got it. Well, they pretty obviously have a Stubborn Denial here, right? Pretty clearly have the stub. So what does that make us want to do? I think I like running out Lily the Last Hope here. If she lives, we get to buy back something good. And if she eats the stub, then that maybe clears the way for Lily of the Veil. The other option was, of course, Scavenging Ooze, but that just didn't seem quite as appealing to me. Yep. Our read was correct. Thought Scour. Ooh, more discard is not good. Here goes our Lily. Yep. All right. I mean, they're doing everything. Ripping us up pretty well. Tracker into land is okay, but obviously another Liliana the Veil there would have been probably our best draw. Any removal in general would have been really nice. Alright. Snap Push. Looking a little gloomy for us at the moment, my friends, but got a lot of live draws to take care of this shadow. Oh. Okay. That's a tough one. So what we have to do here is play the Ooze. Try to use it to stay alive. Try to find some way to have a double spell turn next turn that involves killing the Snap and then Edicting the Shadow. This probably won't work because they've got more cards in hand. They might have discard, they might have another stub, they might have removal here. Yep. We're just dead. You got us. You got us, you got us. Alright, well, that was a really tough shadow progression to beat. They just had a nice strong 7, an early shadow, a ton of discard. We couldn't quite keep up, but on the play, I think we want to bring in the choke. So, is there anything that we... I mean, there's really nothing we don't like, to be honest. Everything is pretty solid. Maybe I just cut down a Fulminator. It's kind of a like-for-like replacement. I don't want to go too light on other factors here. I don't want to go lighter on threats, lighter on removal, lighter on graveyard interaction. So I think that's more or less fine. Sure. Well, you know, if they had stumbled even a little bit, we had the power in our hands to really stay in that game, but they curved out nicely on us. Alright, so this hand is also very clunky, but I think I should keep it. Again, mulling against Shadow is terrible. We've got a lot of really powerful stuff. We need to hit our land drops naturally, because I don't expect the Bob to really live. But we're going to give it a keep. Okay, the opponent has to take them all. They're going to be fine with their 6. Alright, if our Bob can somehow A, make it to the board, and B, stick around, I cannot imagine us losing this game. But those are two big ifs. And they've got the turn 1 Thoughtseize, as expected. I mean, we just hit some lands. We should be able to stick something great, whether it be Choke or Lily. Alright, they leave the Bob, which means they've got removal for the Bob, I have to assume, but nothing to it but to do it. And we do have another Bob where that came from, which is probably one of the better draws that wasn't a land, but we still obviously need lands. Very badly we need lands. Okay, Serum. Street Wraith. Fatal Push. Yikes. Come on, Blooming Marsh. Oh, Blooming Marsh. Well, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. We just have to get her in under the Stubborn Denial. Under the discard. We're going to tick up. And I think we pick... So there's no way they can really deploy 2 creatures next turn. Well, they could deploy Angler and Shadow. It's either Kalitas or Pulse. I think I'm going to pitch the Pulse, though. We can Edict something away next turn. We're super punished if they have a 2-creature turn, but I think that's very unlikely and they don't. Alright. Alright. Okay, now I'm going to pitch the Kalitas. Because Trophy is at least going to have a target. At some point, even if we just hit a land with it. Little unfortunate that we couldn't leverage those powerful cards, but having a Liliana on the field is obviously wonderful. Snapcaster Mage is not good for us. That's a really, really strong play for them right now. But, you know, our Kalitas would have died to it just the same here, so... Alright. Tarmogoyf, huh? How highly do we rate this Assassin's Trophy? I think we rate the trophy pretty highly, to be honest, so I'm actually going to Edict here. It's just been a shame that we've never been able to put together a 2-spell turn. We've always had one land just kind of uselessly floating there, you know. Oh, how brutal can we get? Yep. Yep. Well. I still don't think that was the incorrect play, you know, if... I don't think Kolagin's command is super common anymore, and you can't really play around it. Anyway, in general. Obviously, it's something to be aware of, but... Okay, Dark Confidant. So if we hit them, that'll put them to 3. That still doesn't give us lethal next turn with a Bob hit, so we just play the Bob and pass. I mean, we've still got some good stuff going on. They're just scooping to us. Okay. Well, if I were them, I might have made us play it out a little bit more, to be honest, but I can only assume they hit a land and then maybe had, like, Stubborn Denial in hand or something not wonderful. I'm very curious to see that, to be honest, but... Wow, okay, that all went by very quickly, but let's recap. So, Game 1, well... Trying to remember Game 1, like I said, it's all a little quick, it's all a bit of a blur, but yeah, let's just focus on game 3. My short-term memory is all wrapped up in game 3. So let's roll with that one. I cannot offer intelligent commentary, apparently on something that happened about 12 minutes ago, so forgive me. But yeah, so here in game 3, well, this was a really interesting one, right? So they took away our choke. They took away our choke. They had an answer for our Bob. Then the name of the game became Liliana of the Veil. Now, Liliana of the Veil is a very high value card against Death Shadow because, number one, she's a clean edict most of the time, a clean answer to all of their premier threats. Obviously, if they have a supplementary creature like Snapcaster Mage or maybe, I don't know, Grim Lavamance or something like that, then sure, that changes. We actually saw that come up in game 2. But normally she's a very, very high priority target. But and a very highly effective piece. Here, it looked like it was working out that way, because like I said, either she cleanly edicts their threat and then goes back to depleting their resources, or she just ticks up and depletes their resources. And while that's symmetrical and that's not necessarily as ideal, we still saw how great it was. Like, they can't really hold cards in hand. They had to pitch some cantrips. They had to pitch some other things. It's a good way to get cards like Stubborn Denial out of their hand, but they had, like, some really nice value plays over like, back-to-back. They had Snapcaster Mage into Fatal Push, and then they had a Kolagin's Command. There was a couple 2-for-1s, and that is where I thought our Liliana advantage had been totally erased. And I guess if you do the math, it probably had been totally erased. But we are still... the fact that that happened and we came away with a win still shows you how I think we are firm favorites against Death Shadow, because we can realistically out-top deck them, and we did. Like, this is a match where we actually have a higher threat density. And the fact that we went Tarmogoyf into Dark Confidant as a couple of the recent finds off the top of our deck, well, that's just actually a whole heck of a lot for them to deal with. Fatal Push is their only clean answer to Tarmogoyf. And Dark Confidant is going to pull us back ahead. We're still at 20 life. All of this is very, very good for us. So like I said, maybe the opponent could have played it out another time, or for another turn at least, but they just saw the writing on the wall apparently, and they just scooped it up. So I will not ever say no to that. And we advance to the good old 3-0 in a competitive league. We're not running away with any matches. They've all been relatively close, although this was I had probably the most comprehensive wins that you've seen in this league so far here in this match. But even so, I mean, we got wrecked pretty hard game 2. We dropped that game. But yeah, guys, the Rise of Death Shadow is very, very good for us, in my opinion, because number one, we match up well against the deck on a one-on-one basis. I do think we are solid favorites. And number two, Grixis Death Shadow is a great police deck for the format. The combination of even more discard than we play, plus Stubborn Denial, plus a very fast clock, is going to help put the brakes on a lot of the hyper-linear, super degenerate nonsense of the format. And we can party with all of those decks too, right? But the fact that they have a top-tier Thoughtseize deck to watch out for in the form of Shadow might mean that those strategies get reined in just a tad, which is good for us because we're spread a little bit thin right now in the format. It's nothing that we can't handle, but we're spread a little bit more thin than is ideal, right? So, and number three, it's just cool to see another interactive, high skill cap, fair Magic deck doing really, really well. So I love to see Shadow at the top tables, and I think it bodes well for us that it's there. So, yeah, good times, guys, good times. We're up to the 3-0. So, we are officially in with a winning record, having cashed the league, no matter what else happens. But we're going to do better than just cash the league. We're going to aim for the 4-0 and maybe even the 5-0. So, let's leave it there. And I might have time a little bit later on today to play match number 4. So, as always, stay tuned to the channel for that. Otherwise, thank you to everybody who's supporting the channel. Thank you to all of my patrons especially. Couldn't do it without you. Much love. And I will see you for the next video. Until then, have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.